Welcome to Monday. Good morning and welcome to the program. This is the Barfield Show. Glad to have you with us as we kick off a brand new week. Glad to have you with us. Our program, as always, is presented by our good friends over at Tow King, Gary Hoffman and his team, providing 24-hour roadside assistance, and they do a wonderful job over there. Keep that phone number that I've given you in your wallet, in your phone. Keep it handy in case you ever need roadside assistance. They do a terrific job, whether it's whether you drive a Volkswagen or whether you drive a space shuttle. It doesn't matter. I just thought I'd throw that in since we got one, up above us right now, but they can handle all that for you, and we'll give you that number a little later on in the program. Let's see, we had a crazy weekend in sports, dodging some weather here locally, but Lark, I don't know if let's welcome in Lark Smith to the program. Lark, good morning. How are you?
I think I'm awake. I'm not sure.
Did you see any of the golf? The golf was in San Antonio. It was the Valero Open.
Mm-hmm.
At times yesterday, it was raining sideways, and they were playing golf and playing good golf.
Really?
I mean, it was. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was.
JJ,
this is the final tune-up before this week, the Masters week.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, I think I saw. I didn't watch any of the tournament at all, but I think minus 17 was the winning score. Minus 15, JJ
like
Spann,
that, yeah.
somebody.
And the winners had to sit around for about an hour and a half and wait for everybody to come in. What happened is they had a rain delay, or and had to finish up the third round yesterday.
Okay.
They didn't repair. They just said, okay, whoever you were playing with to finish, you go out with them. So you may have the leader at minus 15 playing with somebody who was minus 7, and vice versa. So they had to wait. I mean, this was the way it went. But they got the tournament in, and now it's on to Augusta, which to me, this is a great week. I love Masters Week. I mean, and even if you're not a golf fan, I think you kind of like this because it's the tradition. It's one location. They don't ever change. This is the one major golf tournament that doesn't change. It's in Augusta, Georgia. And there's a beauty to that golf course that is second to none.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe the golf year does not start until Augusta. They played in California, they've played in Hawaii, and they've played in Arizona, but until they get to Augusta, the golf season really hasn't started.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'm not going to argue with anybody who believes that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a major. NASCAR starts with a major.
Yeah,
start with their Super Bowl. And I'm like, okay, why are we going backwards? But if you think about it, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. You're right. There's a lot of people who don't believe that the golf season starts until this week, Augusta.
Yeah,
and all the fun stuff that goes with it. The par 3 on Wednesday, which is always fun. You never know who's going to be caddying, who's going to be firing that first tee shot to begin the golf tournament. Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player,
Lee Trevino.
Those guys. What is the saying they have? It's a tradition like none other, I think is kind of their slogan. And I agree with that.
Absolutely.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we will talk some Masters this week and get some thoughts. And, Jones Mitchell from Lake Waco Golf Club is going to join us, obviously, on Thursday. Now, we'll be an hour or so into the golf tournament, 2 hours maybe. But we're still going to we'll talk Masters because, 2 hours in is not – who cares? We're 2 hours into the golf tournament. But we're going to get Jones Mitchell's thoughts on the golf tournament, and we'll talk about the Masters and all that kind of fun stuff. You and I know a guy that used to marshal and may still do, I don't know, at the Masters. You know who I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
Oh, come on. Mac Hughes at Marsteller Motors.
Oh, okay.
Remember,
I didn't know that he did that.
Mac, yeah. Mac used to go and may still go every year to Augusta for the golf tournament. I think he helped marshal. It takes so many volunteers to pull one of these events.
Oh, sure.
Off.
Yeah.
And he's always, right in the mix of that. So,
yeah.
And I don't know if he's still doing it or not.
Yeah. We've been up to, the Colonial and places like that and seen all the volunteers at, the Dallas Salesmanship Club, with Byron Nelson and all those volunteers. Yeah. That it does take a lot of people to pull off a golf tournament.
It does. It absolutely does. So, but yeah, so we'll talk Masters a little bit this week. I guess disappointing may be the word. I don't know where we are with college basketball. I get settled in to watch. I'm going to watch Arizona and I'm going to watch Michigan. And I watched Michigan in their first round game.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, whoa.
They're good.
They're real good. But are they? Well, they are.
Barely so.
I thought Arizona was the best team in the country. I thought Michigan was playing the best basketball. And I thought, okay, we've got ourselves a showdown. No, we don't.
No.
They kicked the snot out of them.
Yeah, they
made them like it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that close. What was the final? 91-73?
Somewhere around there.
And it wasn't even that close.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world is going on in college basketball?
Yeah. All right. Who all is there anybody anywhere that had Michigan, UConn in the final two?
There may be some. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
I had a all Big 12 final.
Oh
well, but Michigan's going to win this thing. But the only question is it by 20, 25? Could they push it out to more?
I mean, how many people are rooting against UConn as opposed to for Michigan?
I don't know. Here's what I am rooting for. That Michigan plays poorly and UConn plays really good, and maybe we have a competitive basketball game tonight. But right now, I mean, I'm not sure the San Antonio Spurs could beat Michigan right now. They're playing really good basketball.
Good.
And then yesterday, the biggest thing out of the Final Four was the argument with Gino. I mean,
on the women's side, yeah.
Yes, that was not a game yesterday.
No.
It wasn't. The final yesterday.
79-51.
Yeah, 79-51. But trust me, I watched a little bit of it. When I say a little bit of it, I mean a little bit of it because
wasn't that close.
It wasn't that close. And I'm like, this is not even it wasn't competitive.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't even remotely competitive. I mean to tell you, UCLA took South Carolina out to the woodshed and did a number on them.
I didn't realize that UCLA women had not won a national championship with Ann Myers and some of that group way back when. I knew that they were always good, but I didn't realize they'd never won a title.
Well, and when you said UCLA basketball, what do you think?
Well, you think John Wooden and
Of
men.
course you do.
Yeah.
You in all those teams that were just
back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never considered UCLA women's basketball, in that elite group, and probably should be.
Sure.
But, when you start thinking about those type teams, my first thought's Tennessee.
True.
Baylor.
Yeah.
Under Kim in those days. LSU now.
Yeah.
South Carolina now. UConn, obviously, with Gino.
Yeah.
I didn't think UCLA. You better start thinking UCLA. Will they lose one game?
I think that's it.
I think they went 36 or 37-1, something like that. So we got that to discuss a little bit today as well. Should be
Ranger game yesterday. Did you notice something?
I did not. What I noticed that they lost their fourth straight and they haven't won a home game yet, and I'm canceling my playoff tickets. That I do know.
The latter part of the game.
Yeah.
Each team had a former MCC Highlander on the mound.
Really?
Yeah. Connor Phillips came in relief for the Cincinnati Reds, and Chris Martin was in relief for the Rangers.
How about that?
They were up against each other, two former MCC Highlanders.
Well, we always joke around, that the SEC has great shortstop play because of McLennan. I mean, we had a year or a couple of years there where you had two McLennan Highlanders starting at shortstop in the SEC, Arkansas and South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
We're going to talk with Paul Catalina, 365 Sports. We're going to do that here in just a couple of minutes. We've got a lot to get to with him, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. We both worked with Paul back in the day.
As they say.
As they say. Yeah. Hey, we are presented by our good friends at Toe King and brought to you by Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. Perry, David, and the entire crew over there, Daryl and Maria, and all of them do a wonderful job. They're at 18th and Herring. They're open right now. They open at 10 o'clock in the morning. They stay open until 4:30 in the afternoon. Saturdays, it's a 10 until 2 kind of thing. Burgers just the way you like it. Best burger in Waco. I've said it for 100 years, and it's the truth. You know why? Because they're not going to cook that burger until you order it. Then they're going to cook it the way you want it. Then they're going to put the veggies on there that you want, and they're going to leave the veggies that you don't want off of it. Then they're going to ask you whether you want a hamburger or a cheeseburger. I mean, they do that. Now, what drives me nuts is if somebody asked me when I asked for a hamburger and they said, do you want cheese on that? I said, no, that would be a cheeseburger. I asked for a hamburger. Anyway, that's a totally different story.
Yeah.
And you know what? They do a great job of catering as well. And it's not just burgers. If you want turkey and dressing, they can cater that for you. You want chicken fried steak, they can cater that for you. You got events coming up. You got graduations. You got all kinds of things coming up this spring. There could be a wedding in your plan. I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen in spring and summer. If you need catering done, check with Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. 18th and Herring. And we're right back with more in just a moment.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Toe King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Toe King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Toe King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Toe King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
All right, you're back with us, and we are brought to you in part by good friends at Morrison's Gifts. That's Waco's oldest family-owned gift store. If you're looking for a gift, and again, here we go, graduation, birthday, those type of things, weddings coming up. John Hart, Consuela, Jelly Cats, they have it all for you at Morrison's Gifts. They're at 4312 West Waco Drive. That's in the Brazos Square Shopping Center. They're right down from Jason's Deli. What I love about Sally and her team, I could walk in there and go, here's what I got going on. Here's kind of my budget. Go. And then it's done. They take care of it, and it's all said and done. And because I'm a buyer, not a shopper. And I think a lot of the guys are. So check them out. 4312 West Waco Drive, Morrison's Gifts, Mark and Sally. And, why am I mentioning Mark's name? It's Sally. She anyway. All right, 4312 West Waco Drive for Morrison's Gifts. Let's welcome into the program our good friend, Paul Catalina. Paul, good morning. How are you? And thanks for the time.
Oh, I'm doing great, Tom. I'm doing great. Just up here in the old man cave, doing an interview before I have to trudge into the office for another day. Trudge. You should listen. Podcasting. People say at least it's not digging ditches. I think that's nonsense. I think it's worse. No, I think it's worse. No, okay, it's not. It's not.
We've been doing this 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different. I mean,
this is 6 years today for me.
Talk me through what you've learned about this and how you got to this point and how you and David and Craig, because I mean, I consider you guys kind of the benchmark and kind of the grandfather of all of us. I mean, look who we all got on our team now. I mean, we got a million of us doing it now, and but we were all over at the radio station for a long time.
Yeah, we were, and this right here 6 years ago today was the first Sikkim 365 podcast that we did, and it was from right here. We did it during COVID in this room right here, upstairs at my house, for 5 months, and then we moved into the studio that we're in now. And it was, I mean, we got fired from the radio station. We didn't have anything else to do, and Sikkim called us up and said, yeah, we got fired. We got fired during COVID because they're like, we can't radio. And then, all right, well, bummer. And I left that place, and I've never even been to the Sonic next to it since then. But which, as you can tell by looking at me, is a real bummer for that Sonic economically. I'm sure that their general manager comes down and was like, for 6 damn years, this place has been going downhill, and I can't figure out why. But but we started doing the show up here because Sikkim asked us to, and then I didn't have anything else to do. I was actually like this close to getting a job in San Antonio. They got put on hold, and so we started up here, and then after about 3 months, I was like, man, I mean, live radio, like it's going to this anyway, and it was so different than anything that we'd done because we had so much more control over it. I mean, we still did 3 to 6, which to this day, I'm still wondering why we did exactly that, because we could have just done whatever we wanted, but that's what we did. But we had, no restrictions on it.
Now?
What?
The 3 to 6 is kind of ingrained in the thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is, and so we just decided to do that, and here we are, 74,000 subscribers later in 6 years, and all organic growth. It wasn't anything that was spurred on by bot farms or fake followers. You get some of those occasionally, but yeah, it was all organic, and it was really spurred on by Big 12 realignment. We had a great source during that gave us a bunch of information that could have been true, that was exactly true and exactly down the way. So when you get into YouTube, when you hit that stride and people start telling you about, or telling people about you, hey, these guys are kind of on it. They kind of share you, and you have all that. It's a world that's so much bigger than even a 50,000 watt radio station can give you in this time. So it was really cool for us to expand. I think slower than I would like, but not everybody can be Mr. Beast or whoever who has 1 billion subscribers. But that still, I'll take what we've got and keep building on it because it's been really good.
And you guys have built a platform in which people want to be on. I mean, your guest list, people want to be a guest on 365 Sports.
Yeah, they the thing that you can do, and Tom, this, I probably learned this from you when I first started. You've got to create a program that has value, that people enjoy being on, and it's valuable both ways. We're gonna get some push off of it because you help raise our level, and people in our listening area or viewing area, our audience, are gonna stow and read your column or watch your podcast or do whatever. Actually, I think in the last 6 years, since the podcasting world has exploded, it's been a lot easier to get better guests because of the collaboratory feature of it, where you can say, like, okay, well, I was on this podcast, then I can go on theirs, and you can combine audiences. Because as many people as there are in the world, when you're just doing a podcast about one thing, it's still limited to what people like. So and I learned this from John McClane: if somebody asks you to be on their show, find a way to be on their show. Don't tell them no. And so I'll always do anything that anybody asks me, because yeah, I mean, we're helping each other out. I'm getting 365 Sports out there, and they're getting whatever they're doing out to our audience too. So it's a lot easier now. I remember when I first started doing this, if you wanted to get a guest that you didn't know personally, it was really, really hard. I mean, you had to call and you had essentially had to give your resume over the phone. Now it's not such a big deal. I mean, sometimes it takes a long time because of people's personal schedules. But Tom, I'm sure you've been through this where, oh, I have a chance to get this guy and he's really, really big. But I have to go through this hoop and this hoop and this hoop to get him. Mm-hmm. Now it's really just one hoop most of the time, which is way better because people understand the value of all this.
Visiting with Paul Catalina for 365 Sports. Paul, you mentioned just a moment ago that podcasts have exploded. In simple question, why?
It's because anybody could look. Nobody. There used to be a time where you could get a radio license and a ham radio and all these things, and you could theoretically do something from your house if you had the technical wherewithal to do it. But even then, not a whole lot of people did. But I can't, like you and I just couldn't tomorrow start a radio station or a television station. We've got to buy towers and satellites and equipment. I mean, it's $1 million. If we wanted to do one tomorrow, either one, it's at least $1 million. And that's if we had the most bare bones thing. All it takes for me to do this is like these headphones, don't need them. I have speakers on here. I have a camera on here. Is a $1,000, not even a $200 laptop, and you could be doing a podcast. And then, it's easy. Anybody can do, like literally anyone can do it. Their children have podcasts. How many kids did you know that were on the radio? None. But you could, as soon as you learn how to use whatever software you're going to use, you could do a podcast. If you were 10 years old, there's one that's a bunch of 12-year-olds that talk about snacks all day. They've been spoofed on Saturday Night Live. And, they just knew how to point a camera and talk. That's all they needed to know how to do. So it's the simplest thing. And that's where, radio stations, and TV, look, TV's been hurt by YouTube and everything as well, because literally anyone can do it. Like, even if you don't know how to do this, you probably know someone who could do it for you, who could help you. And then, here we are. I mean, this podcast is on StreamYard. It's easy. Like literally anyone can do this. And I say that knowing that I would like less people to do it so there's less competition in the market. But, you can't stop the weather, and that's the weather here in this world.
Is there a place, in your opinion, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this and be nice. Is there a place for terrestrial radio?
I think so. But they've got to start doing this, and then that has to be their other part of it where
I agree.
You've got to focus on you got to do so much in your local market that people in your local area can't get it anywhere but you. Like you are the one who has to, and that coming from a place where we did that, it's really hard to do, even when people were listening to the radio. It's even harder now because the minute you slip up and don't do something, or somebody leaves a job or gets fired or whatever, and you lose that group of fans who they only liked this guy. I was when you and I, Lark, Smokey, we were all lucky enough to do a radio show with Butch Henry. Butch Henry only worked on the radio in Waco, Texas. He would not have worked on the radio almost anywhere else. But when Butch was made to leave our show and do another show, we lost a bunch of people who just who didn't give a crap about me and Smokey so much. They just wanted to hear me and Smokey play off of Butch, and so you lose those people. Well, if somebody pops up that has that same appeal, or that person goes somewhere else, you've created competition where there wasn't before. So if you're a local station, You have to really, really do something that everybody else isn't doing, or just be so much better than everybody else who does that. If you're a, I'll pick a medium-sized market. If you're like, Wichita, Kansas, and you've got to cover Wichita State better than the newspaper does, better than the TV stations do, better than anything. So you're the first stop. And that's really hard to do because they have good people too. They have people who are doing it. So it's really hard. And especially since you're doing all this. So yeah, I would say it's hard, but you have to be the place where I'm going to get in the car and I'm not going to put my phone into the Bluetooth. I'm going to turn on, 12:10 a.m. and listen to this show, because in spite of all this, it's still the best thing I have to find out about the Wichita State Shockers.
And you just brought up a great point. It's so easy now to get a podcast remotely. I mean, it used to be, hey, you better be right in front of that laptop, but that's not the case anymore. I mean, you can get these things in 10 seconds. Just pop in your vehicle and you can listen. And
yeah, I told our owner, our previous owner, I said, Gary, we're not programming to the phone. We've got to program to people's phones. There's not people walking around with AM FM radios anymore. So programming to just that, you got to program to the phone. You got to make sure that this thing right here that all of us have attached to us at all times, as sad as that has become in American life, you have to make sure that you are available for anybody, anywhere, anytime to hit a button and listen to you, because that's where all of this attention goes to. And it's not going to surprise you that he told me, no, we're a radio station. We're not a phone station. And I was like, okay. When you go to that convention in Vegas, how many iPhone apps are you going to walk past? Just, and how many signal boosters are you going to see? It's going to be about 3 billion to 1. All these different people trying to push an app on you and all that. So it was a big change, probably about a decade ago where it started. And now, it's just completely shifted to the point of, if you're not programming to the phone, to streaming where people can jump on and get you on YouTube or Roku or whatever, then you're living in a different time period.
One of the things that I tell everybody is, with terrestrial radio or television or whatever the case may be, most of the time it is appointment listening, appointment viewing. It's at 7:00 at night, or it's at 4:30 in the afternoon. With these things that we're doing, it's anytime, 24/7.
Well, that's been the problem with television when they're, let's just say, you want to watch Tracker. Well, do I have to watch Tracker when it comes on, or can I just watch it later? Can I wait a couple weeks and watch 2 or 3 of them at once because I've got time to kill? Same with podcasts. So that's why live sports have been so, that the NFL can squeeze every drop out of anyone who wants to give them $1 billion, because you have to watch it then. You can't watch, some people watch games later, and I've gone back and watched games later that I haven't been able to watch in a condensed version because I need to know. But if you're watching a game later because you don't want the commercials or anything, I think you're a bit of a psycho. But you got to watch it live. It's happening then. That game is happening now tonight when Connecticut and Michigan play. That's happening now. I don't want to watch it tomorrow. I want to watch it now, so that when I get up in the morning and go to my office, I can be like, holy crap, did you see that game last night? Yeah. That's what I want to do, which is why, you have to, television shows, no matter how good they are, have to be really, smart about the way that they look at their numbers and say is somebody watching this or not, or what's up against it, as opposed to, back when I was growing up, back when you were growing up, there were less options, so you just watched whatever was on network television live.
Yeah, the 4 channels that you got on your TV, and you went about your business. Hey, can you hang on? Can you stay with us another second? Yeah. Okay. We're visiting with Paul Catalina from 365 Sports. Much more to come from Paul. And I promise we'll get into some sports stuff here in just a few minutes. But we need to get a break. We are brought to you in part by our good friends at Benchmark Construction. Check them out today. BenchmarkC3.com. David and his team ready there to take care of you. Look, I hope it never happens to you. But if you happen to have a disaster situation, maybe you do have a new construction situation going on. Maybe you got a water leak that occurred. That hot water heater made a mess. You know what? Call David's team at Benchmark Construction. BenchmarkC3.com. They'll take great care of you. And again, this is a group that gets out here in Central Texas. They help everybody in the community. And nobody knows because they're not looking for a pat on the back. They just want to help out and be a good partner in Central Texas, and that's exactly what they do. BenchmarkC3.com and tell them that we sent you by. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
All right, you're back with us, and we are brought to you in part by JK Roofing, jkroofs.com. You can call them at 254-744-2211. That's Jason, Katie, Embry. In fact, I saw the Embry family in church yesterday. All of the Embry family in church yesterday. That was pretty cool to run into those folks. But and they're, we go to church together. It's kind of cool. JK Roofing, you can check them out. And again, whether it's a conventional shingle roof or a metal roof, whether it's repair or a new roof, they'll give you a great service. They'll give you a great bid. They'll come out and tell you, hey, you may not even need a new roof. You may have a year left on that roof, or 2 years or 5 years, whatever the case may be. They'll give you a great set of information so you can make a great decision. jkroofs.com. Again, the phone number to reach Jason Katie is 254-744-2211. We continue our conversation with Paul Catalina from 365 Sports. Paul, if I was to ask you to describe 365 Sports, your 3-hour show that you've been doing for several years now, transitioning from radio to the podcast, what is the podcast version of 365 Sports?
The podcast version of 365, which look, it took us a minute to get there because we were doing a radio show on YouTube for a couple years because we didn't know any different. We were just like, all right, we'll do the radio show and just point the cameras at us and
kind of like we're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, that's what they all kind of are too. You just have to start adding the visual elements of it, making it more of a presentation, graphics and sets and all that. And, so I would say, it's 3 hours of, it's about 2.5 now. We kind of cut out the last half hour because most days we found ourselves kind of rambling a little bit or just trying to get to 6 o'clock like we had a live broadcast to hit. Like we had to hit a Rangers game back in the day, and then it was like, well, we don't. Yeah, you hit that legal ID. Well, you don't. There's no legal IDs on YouTube, thank God. So you just, so we just kind of do that. We just the last half hour is usually like a guest at 5 o'clock, and then we do, I have a top 5 every day, and so it's all kind of, fun stuff in the last half hour, really. But it's just it's a sports talk show. I mean, in every sense of the word, we have coaches. I mean, we've had every football coach in the Big 12 except for Deion Sanders.
Really?
And yes. Now we had Deion. Now back in our radio days, we had Deion Sanders on a couple times at Super Bowls, but Deion territorial about where he goes. We haven't been told no. We've just been told not yet. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, we have Brett Yormark on 2-3 times a year. We've had every conference commissioner that is not in the SEC, ACC, or Big Ten. So we've had all them. We have tons of reporters. We get players when we can. So we have. We're very strongly interview based, but the three of us have discussions and all of that. And look, I've got some new stuff coming here soon. That'll be just me. Doing it. That's going to be really fun, but we're not ready to announce that yet. I'll just give you a little tease that's coming soon.
Tell us about it later, won't you?
Yeah. When I'm allowed by our bosses to tell you all about it, I will happily pop back on and tell you about the new show. But it's coming sooner than you think, but it's still in the not completely formed out. It's embryonic right now. It's like a little cell. It's a little couple things. It's gestating. So, but yeah, so that's what we are. And look, if you want some of, I think we're really some of the best that do it. We cover the Big 12. We cover all the conferences. We cover everything, but we are in Big 12 country. That's where our contacts are. We really feel strong about the way that we can do that. We've had probably the basketball coaches changed a little bit more than the football coaches. So we probably had about half of them. A couple of them are harder to get. But we're going to interview coaches. Today we have Von Miller on the show. So, that's just, whatever we can do to make a good show, we're going to do it.
Visiting with Paul Catalina from 365 Sports today. Coming up tomorrow, Bryce Cherry, the Waco Tribune-Herald, and David Murphy, the former Baylor Bear and former Texas Ranger, and part of the broadcast team for the Rangers, is going to join us and talk some Ranger baseball tomorrow on the program. Paul, let's talk college basketball. I've been incredibly disappointed this past weekend. I thought the women's championship game was a dud. I thought the semifinal between Arizona and Michigan was a dud. Why in the heck are we striking out in the Final Four?
I think for Arizona, they were distracted by UNC talk all week. I really do. I still think that is the worst game they've played all year, and it's not even close. If people are just coming to Arizona basketball now and going like, oh, how did they get there? Believe me, they got there because they are legit. But speaking from experience, look, I watched Art Briles, Texas Rumors rip apart a Fiesta Bowl chance for Baylor, and I watched a game that Baylor was probably not going to win anyway against Georgia, be worse because Matt Rule was going to the Panthers right after that. Matt Rule has acknowledged that he probably didn't handle it the best way, but there's no real good way to handle it, and you'd like to nip it in the bud early in the week, but if you're Tommy Lloyd and this is your future and your life, you got to listen to North Carolina. I mean, it's North freaking Carolina. So it's a really weird position, but I do think those things are unavoidable to keep out of the locker room. So I would say that had more to do with it than anything else. And Michigan, I think Arizona to me was the best team in the whole thing. Michigan, I thought was about the third best team. But now when you kind of watch how they've been playing lately, they scored 90 points in every game in the tournament. That's never happened before. So, yeah, they're legit. Now, I think UConn and Dan Hurley, when it comes to these moments, he's just so good at messing up your game plan. So I think it'll be a better game than we saw on Saturday. And as far as the women go, let me get something off my chest first. Corey Close was Sue Semrau at FSU's top assistant forever. And FSU has always had a solid women's basketball team. They've never had a championship winning team. The coach now, Brooke Wyckoff, she and I went to school together. We had a few classes together, and she's doing a great job. But Corey Close left, went to UCLA, and they just beat Dawn Staley's butt into oblivion yesterday. So I'm a little mad about that she was there at FSU. I mean, forever she was there. And then, in 2011 went off to UCLA, and it's taken her, or 2011, whatever she was, went off to UCLA. It's taken her a while, but she built a juggernaut this year.
I think the only thing that's been entertaining about the women's Final Four was the Geno Gate or whatever you want to call it. My God.
I've always liked Geno Auriemma. I've always admired him. And I've always found him entertaining. But I do know he has a massively huge ego that all it's going to take is one little slight, one little perceived slight for him to go off like that. And he knew, I know as soon as that happened, as soon as he walked back and sat down in the locker room, that he was like, oh, crap. I'm going to have to apologize for this. That was probably not the best thing. All right, well, let's get the SID in here. You help me write something up. We'll send it out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened probably about an hour after that. So it was embarrassing for him, for a guy who's the greatest women's basketball coach that you could possibly imagine. And part of it I do think is his ego's hurt because Dawn Staley has taken a lot of his thunder. For all that Kim did to steal a little bit of UConn's thunder, because she is so caustic, she hasn't been able to crack into that lovability factor that Geno has. And Dawn Staley, I don't think she's warm and fuzzy either, generally, but she's generally more likable than Kim Mulkey. And I think she started to kind of nibble into that UConn dominance, which is probably what annoys him more than anything.
And she beats Kim.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, if you ask me who the best coach in women's college basketball right now, it's Dawn Staley. It's not Geno. It's not Kim. I mean, they're all great, but the one who's the hottest coach right now is Dawn Staley. Now, yesterday notwithstanding, right now I guess it's Corey Close because she won, but yesterday notwithstanding, it's Dawn Staley. I mean, there's a reason the New York Knicks are calling her to say, come and interview for this job. I don't blame her for not really taking it because I do think that James Dolan, the owner, was like, hey, look how with it I am.
Yeah.
Look, kids, I'm woke, and I'm thinking about it. She knew that was not going to be a serious thing, but there are coaches. I think, if you were going to tell me a couple coaches from women's basketball that could coach in the NBA, because it is kind of a different thing, I think she would absolutely be one of them. She just had to work with an owner who believed in her as a coach and not as some sort of figurehead of some kind of message he's trying to send. The message is she's one of the best basketball coaches that you can find. And basketball is basketball, no matter who's playing it. She can adjust and do all these things. So
the grass is not always greener.
Exactly. That's the other thing. It's like, all right, you can be the next Pat Summitt or Geno Auriemma at South Carolina, or you can go and be the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks and see what happens. I'd rather be at South Carolina. Look, Billy Donovan's the coach of the Chicago Bulls right now, and that was a job, 20 years ago. Nobody ever thought about leaving in a heartbeat to go back to college. But as messed up as college sports is right now and confusing and hard for the coaches, he's going to make $8 million to go coach at UNC if he wants to, And that place is legitimately committed to winning, as where I don't know if Jerry Reinsdorf is. So, yeah, I mean, I'd probably rather be in certain instances a college coach than a pro coach, even as hard as it is to be a college coach based on today's standards, because hell, you're still making a ton of money, and you know you don't have to worry about one owner, you worry about the university, so it's a little bit different.
Final thought for you. When spring football rolls around, normally I was like, okay, spring football, we get to talk a little football. This year feels a little different to me. And tell me if you agree. I think this is an incredibly important spring in Baylor football.
I think it's very important because you've got a coach that's very much on the hot seat in Dave Aranda. A new athletic director who has no ties to Dave Aranda at all, even though he was at Baylor before. He left Baylor before Dave Aranda was hired. And his directive is to make all the sports better, right? So if Dave Aranda gets off to a rough start, which could be likely given they have a tough schedule early on, especially going to play Auburn and Atlanta, that's going to be really tough. But DJ Lagway, Dave Aranda, I think the best part about it is that everybody has something to prove. Like they're not trying to build on anything that's happened before. This is we have something to prove. This is the last shot at this place for some of them, and they've got to refocus and make their efforts better all the way around. So yeah, I would say it's important for them to hit the ground running and be, especially on defense or the new defensive coordinator, have the football of it, the X's and O's, the film, all those things. You have to know yourself so well coming out of this spring before you get to summer. You need to feel after these spring practices that you really, really know who you are as a player and as a coach going forward. So I think this is very critical for Baylor, as where some schools, like, is this a critical spring for Oklahoma State? No, it's North Texas North now, North Texas, where they are, because Eric Morris took it over there. So, it's critical and that, like, get better, but like Oklahoma State was terrible and has been bad. They have nowhere to go but up. Dave Aranda is trying to build back from maybe the best Baylor season of all time, winning a Sugar Bowl in the Big 12 championship over Ole Miss just 5 years ago. And it's been so uneven since then. He's got something to prove, as where, it seemed like Oklahoma State, heck, Colin Klein at Kansas State. Really, you can kind of just go from, this is day one for me. This is not day one for Dave Aranda, for sure.
You bring up that Sugar Bowl in that year, but man, oh man, it certainly seems like a long time ago now.
It does. Everything feels longer because of the portal and because of the portal. I mean, really, NIL, like, had they had good rules about it to start out, like, we wouldn't even notice it. Like, if they really thought this out when they decided to do it, as opposed to fighting it every step of the way, then we wouldn't even notice it. People are like, oh, okay, well, this guy's getting this NIL. It's the portal, because you can see in a lot quicker time, who's got a plan that's sustainable through roster changes and who is year to year. Look, I'll use my alma mater, Florida State, as an example. Mike Norvell was a pioneer in the portal. That 2023 team he had was unreal, and it's because nobody is really using it the way he was. Then everyone else started, and you can't get Keon Coleman just because only one other school offered him a scholarship in the transfer portal now. Dave Aranda, and by his own admission, Mac Rhodes told us this actually a couple years ago in a media private kind of media session. And it's years past, said, look, there's two things that happened right off of that. Didn't get in the portal quick enough, and like did the Jerry Jones, we like our guys thing, and they were not good at wide receiver in 2022, and it really hurt their team. And then in that same year, the 2022 and 2023 recruiting classes, they slow played NIL and did this thing where everybody's equal. Well, no, look, DJ Lagway is not equal to the second tight end. So you do have to, in a competitive marketplace, that's just capitalism, pay more for somebody who's more in demand. And they tried to do it where everybody got the same early on, and in an ideal world, that's great. But we don't live in an ideal world, especially in college athletics. And those decisions hurt them down the line, in that their roster building has been like this. Is where, even look, Georgia hasn't won a title in a few years, but their roster building's been here, right? They've been, here. I mean, they've been able to maintain. Indiana's like this because they figured it out. Baylor's been like this. We're like, oh, hey, we got some good guys. Oh, crap, they all left. They all left. So as where if you're really good and consistent, yeah, okay, well, these 5 guys left. Well, they didn't work out. Texas last year is a great example. They lost a bunch of guys. These guys didn't work out. Well, we got a bunch of money. We're going to bring in Cam Coleman and Raleigh Brown and Hollywood Smothers and like, okay, those guys are all better. So this is a net positive. We're going to get better offensive linemen. We'll do that. And then if you're at Baylor, you can kind of do that, but you can't, not everybody swims in the same pond. So it's tough. And I think that had they had a better strategy, a more realistic strategy at the beginning of the transfer portal and NIL, we wouldn't be in this spot right now because, and I maintain, Dave Aranda is a fantastic coach. Coach. But there's a difference between a coach and a general manager. In college football, you need general managers now, and that's where he's gone awry, is the talent acquisition. Even financially constrained as Baylor may be compared to somebody like A&M or Texas Tech, you can still do it if you have the right scouting department. You can still, teams in the NFL win that are great with the salary cap and draft well because they know how to find guys. That's what you have to do now, because you can't just go, okay, we're going to go get the 25, highest rated guys. All right, you can go maybe get 10 of the highest rated guys and 10 of the next highest rated, and so on and so on. Then you have to find, okay, who's a player who can play and help me now? Who's a junior that's not in the right spot who can come and make Baylor better? They've got to be better at those things. And it's hard to do that in a year when nobody kind of knows what the future is for them. But I do think when it comes to the coaching, they've got great coaches on the staff. Do they have great roster builders? I think that's maybe been the issue.
Paul, thanks. Man, great stuff as always, and wish you continued success. Tell Craig and David we said hello, and you guys keep it rolling. You're the grandfather of this whole thing, man, for this company.
I prefer, as an Italian, the Godfather. I mean, it just
so noted.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm 40. I'm going to be 46 in 2 weeks. So I guess I technically could be if I had any kids, but since I don't, I'll just take Godfather. I'm like a Godfather, like 5 kids, so I can do Godfather.
I got you, brother. Hey, thanks. Continued success.
All right, thanks, buddy.
See ya. That is Paul Catalina from 365 Sports, and I didn't realize they've been doing this 6 or 7 years. That is crazy, Lark. I mean, absolutely crazy. Hey, we're brought to you in part by Lake Waco Golf. Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility. I know they had a big to-do this weekend with the swimming pool, opening the swimming pool, and I know the weather didn't exactly cooperate, but it's open, and you can start using that facility now. They got some great pricing. If you're not a member, they got some great pricing if you are a member, so check it out at lakewacogc.com, lakewacogc.com, 254-756-2161 if you want to get a tee time, man, and I think today would be a great day to get out, and if you don't have a full 3 hours to play or whatever the case may be, you can go play the par 3 and get that knocked out and work on your game that way. It's a great place, lakewacogc.com. And Jones and his team will be with us, and we're going to talk some Masters golf. We'll do that on Thursday. lakewacogc.com, 254-756-2161.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycat mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check him out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
And you're back with us on the Tom Barfield Show. We are presented each and every day by Gary Hoffman and his family and friends over at Tow King. Man, they do a great job. 24-hour emergency roadside service. I've given you this number every day, and I'll continue to give it to you until you put it in your phone. It's 254-666-5484, 254-666-5484. That's Gary Hoffman and his team over at Tow King. All right, coming up Thursday, Lark, this is exciting. I mean, it really, truly is. First time ever for La Vega High School. They're going to play for a state championship in soccer. Now, they played for it in basketball. They played for it in football. Mm-hmm. And now it is soccer. What a job that they've done over there at La Vega.
Yeah, this last Friday they defeated Marble Falls 3-1. That game was at Waco ISD Stadium Friday. So they have made it to the state title game, which is going to be Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon in Georgetown. They're taking on Lake Dallas. That UIL state soccer tournament has expanded quite a bit since the first time I ever covered it. You now have, you got 6 through 4A, and you've got boys and girls, and you got Division I and Division II. Mm-hmm. So there's looks like they're handing out about maybe 10 different state titles.
That's awesome.
It
has grown, hasn't it?
It's grown greatly. Grown greatly. But one thing I noticed, Walnut Grove High School in Prosper.
That's Prosper ISD.
Yeah. Both of their girls and boys teams are going for state titles this week.
Terrific. Good stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the next UIL state championships that are going on. I guess we're just waiting for baseball and softball.
Baseball and softball will follow, I guess.
Yeah.
Track and field.
Yeah. That's coming up. Let's move over to junior college softball over the weekend. Temple defeated Grayson in 2 games, 10-1 and 4-2. Moving over to junior college baseball, the MCC Highlanders, they end up sweeping Weatherford, not just sweeping on the road, but they swept the entire series.
All 4 games.
Took all 4 games, won the first game in Weatherford on Friday 9-6, won 15-10 in the second game. Temple split with Grayson for a while there. Watching that game, I thought maybe that second game Temple was going to end up with a sweep, and that was going to help both Temple and McLennan and Weatherford all climb in the deal, but Grayson ended up winning that second game 12-11, and then Hill split their series with Vernon. And so what that does as far as the top of the standings in baseball in the Region 5 junior college, it has Grayson on top at 15-5, McLennan in second at 11-5. Now they're one series behind Grayson. They've already had their time off. Weatherford is at 13-7, and Temple is at 10-6. So you got basically 2 games that separates the top from the bottom, or in the top in the top 4 there. Okay, let's go. Softball, Baylor softball. They took it on the chin twice to Houston out of 3 games.
1 out of 3.
They won 1 out of 3. Texas got beat by Alabama 2 out of 3 in softball. A&M took 2 out of 3 from Georgia. Big 12 baseball, you had Baylor taking 2 out of 3 from BYU. Texas Tech lost 2 out of 3 to Houston. What has happened to Texas Tech baseball?
But you know what? Give Houston a little credit. They get swept by Baylor in Houston at home on their home field, and then they go to Lubbock where it's tough to play. It really is tough to play. You have to know how to play in the wind.
Yes, sir.
You just do. And they take 2 out of 3 and nearly sweep that series. So I tip my hat to U of H on that one.
Yeah, and then in SEC baseball, Texas took 2 out of 3 from South Carolina, and A&M took 2 out of 3 out of Vanderbilt. So that's kind of what went on in sports over the weekend.
I was a little surprised when I saw that McLennan lost a softball game. And isn't that ridiculous to say that? But I mean, that's just what Chris Berry's done over there.
Yeah.
He's built a program that when they lose a game, it stopped the presses time.
Pretty much.
I mean, they split with Weatherford, right?
This was like Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. I know, but they're 13-1 in conference play for Pete's sake. They're in great shape.
They're in real great shape.
Anyway. All right, we are going to get a break, and then we'll come back and take a look at what's coming up tomorrow. We are brought to you part by Waco Body Mint. Hey, look, if you're looking to take control of your health with advanced wellness, longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive, look no further than Mary Street here in Waco. It's Waco Body Mint. Thomas and his team would take great care of you. They'll walk you through the program. They'll show you everything that they have to offer, and then you're going to go, yeah, why haven't I done this before? They have sports teams that come in there, Lark, that you know what, after a hard game and they got a quick turn, they had a basketball team playing the state tournament here. And they played a game, then had to turn around and play the next day. They went in and got a workout in at Waco Body Mint so they can recover quicker. And that's what they offer you at Waco Body Mint. Visit wacobodymint.com and you'll learn all about it. It's about a 7,000 square foot facility. Awesome place. Been there and taking the tour myself, and you'll love what you see at Waco Body Mint. That's wacobodymint.com. We're back with a quick word on what's coming up next on the program.
Shopping for insurance shouldn't feel like a guessing game or a root canal. At Barfield Show Insurance Group, a division of TWFG, we make it easy and maybe even a little fun. Need auto, home, life, or business insurance? We've got you covered, literally. We work with multiple top-rated companies to find the right fit for you so you get great coverage at a price that won't make you wince. Because our goal is simple, the highest quality insurance at lowest price possible. Call Barfield Show Insurance Group today at 469-579-4982 for your free quote. Better coverage, better rates, better call.
Since 1996, Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 18th and Herring has been serving Waco's best burger. There's nothing better than a delicious burger cooked just the way you like it, with garden fresh toppings on a buttered bun. Add tots, fries, curly fries, or onion rings for a perfect meal. So what are you waiting on? How about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers today? Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. And don't forget to ask about Double R's catering. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. Family owned and operated, Jasper's Barbecue is serving up Texas-style barbecue meats and sandwiches and all the fixins. Enjoy mouth-watering brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and don't forget the potato salad and barbecue beans. Located in Waco on Elm Street, right off of I-35, open Tuesday through Saturday 10 until 2 or until the food runs out. Stop by today and enjoy the best barbecue around. Voted one of the best barbecue joints by Texas Monthly. That's Jasper's Barbecue in Waco. You won't leave hungry.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycats mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
You're back with us on this Monday edition of the Tom Barfield Show. Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk Central Texas sports. We'll do it with the sports editor of the Waco Tribune-Herald, Bryce Cherry. And then also on the program is David Murphy. Murph played at Baylor, baseball at Baylor. Then he went on and had a great career with the Texas Rangers. Now he's part of their broadcast team. Isn't he one of your favorites?
Absolutely.
Of all we've covered that team for 15 years, I think, you and I together, and he was always one of my favorites.
Absolutely. I enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed talking to his dad quite often. His dad was kind of his swing coach or whatever, and that just a great baseball family.
Good people. And David Murphy's going to join us on the program. That'll be coming up on the Tuesday edition of the program. Thanks to Paul Catalina for being a part of the program. Thanks to you for being a part of the program. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. We're not doing this without all those local sponsors. So get out and support our local people and with your patronage, and we appreciate them. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the program, you can send me an email, and we'll be happy to get with you and talk to you and your company. It's Tom@RogueMediaNetwork.com, Tom@RogueMediaNetwork.com. Now, speaking for Lark, I'm Tom. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.